In this video, I want to talk about how we can calculate beta using real company information. Now, the only thing that is really a little bit off theoretically with this worksheet is, in this case, we're actually using the rate of return for the assets in our comparison, and theoretically, we should be using the excess returns. So we should have another column here that represents the rate of return on maybe a 20-year treasury bond or a 30-year treasury bond. But this will give us an idea exactly how the process, or how it works. And we'll see that usually we'll come up fairly close to the correct answer, at least the answer that's published in the marketplace. So I've already gathered the information for the S&P 500. So what I want to do is we're going to go through the process, and now we're going to go out and we're going to get the information for another company. So if you go to Yahoo Finance, and where you find quote lookup, if you type in KR for Kroger, here we find Kroger's. We want to go to the historical data tab. When you click on that tab, it will give you some choices here in these drop down boxes. We want to click on the first tab to tell it we want 5 years of data. So this goes from 5/29/2013 to 5/29/2018. We want historical prices, and we want monthly data. Don't forget to click on the done thing when you've chosen the time frame. And then we'll apply the data. The next thing that Yahoo Finance does for us is allows us to download the data. So we have the data downloaded. If you open that spreadsheet, it'll load at the bottom. Open the spreadsheet. What I'd like to do is just show you how we end up with the data. Right? So if we go down to the bottom here, we need 60 pieces of information. So if we put in formula equals this plus 1, and then let's go up and make sure we have 60 pieces of information. Go up here, and there's 61 is this top one. So we have 60 pieces of information, which will give us 59 data points. So what we want to do is you take the adjusted close, copy the adjusted close, just copy it, and now we open the Calculate Beta worksheet. And in this Calculate Beta worksheet, we're going to put in here under the price and just copy that in there. Our company is not Disney anymore. Our company is Kroger. And we see that this is calculated that the beta for Kroger is 1.027. So let's see statistically how that works. This is our calculation mathematically, right? We'll look up, we can look up here real quick. What is Kroger's beta that's quoted? It's 0.96. So we can plug that number here for 0.96. We know that's obviously, that seems like it's pretty close. But we also want to use some statistics. So let's use regression, simple linear least squares regression. And we're going to find the regression of this particular, these two columns of numbers, if you will. If you click on the data tab at the top, you should see something over here that says Analyze. If you don't see Analyze here, you need to go over and try to find that. So quickly, let's do that. Go over to File, go to Options. You want to go to the Add-ins. Go to Add-ins. And down below here, see, it says Excel Add-ins. You can say Go, and it will open. And what you need is the Solver Add-ins and the Analysis Tool Pack. You don't need this VBA thing. That's a virtual basic application thing. We don't need that. Those are the two that you need for this particular problem that we're working on. If you click on OK, what you should then do is go to data, make sure you have that. And what I would do before I moved any further, I would go and I would save this worksheet. Because once you've saved this worksheet with that data analysis open, every worksheet that you open from here on out will have that at the top. So now we need to do the regression. So if you go into data analysis, and you're going to pick regression. So when you pick regression, if you look down here, I'll give you some little hints. The market is the x-axis. So you go to the x range here, and you click on it, you'll see I have the categories here. I have this range selected, which is C16, or excuse me, C17. These are the returns for the S&P 500. The y-axis is the company, and of course that is the column G. What you would like to do is select an output range, but we also we have residual plots and line fit plots. So we don't need the residual plots. We want the line fit. Let's go ahead and put them both out there. So if you go ahead and you open this and say, oops, I'm sorry, the output range, you want to say, where do you want that? If you put that right in this same box where it says summary, it will overwrite that information. Say okay. It says, oh, wait a minute. This is a protected worksheet. So you have to unprotect it to do this calculation here of regression. So you work your way back out, go to review, and click unprotect. Now we can go back and do it again. Data analysis, everything should still be here. We don't have to add anything else. We just needed to correct for that one mistake, if you will, and then say okay. It'll ask you if you want to overwrite, and you'll say okay. And now here we have some information. Here are the residual plots, and here is the line fit plot. The line fit plot's really what we want. And if you look at the line fit plot, if we expand it a little bit here, what you can see is the blue dots represent the relationship on this date. The stock market made 4.95% this month, and Kroger made 13.69% this month. So somewhere on here is a dot that represents those 2 points. Regression creates a straight line to represent this line. It's a line that represents the best representation, if you will, of that data. But what we want to look at is, that's a line, the slope of this line is beta, and that's where we find this right here. The beta is right here, 1.045. So that is the beta that's calculated. That's the slope of this orange line up here. So if we go up here, you'll see 1.027 is what the data says. 0.96 is what we find out in the marketplace, and 1.045. You see these numbers are all pretty close. Now you can also look over here. We also have some 95% degree errors, right, or ranges, if you will. And this tells us that beta really is somewhere. There's a 95% chance that the real beta is somewhere between 0.35 and 1.74. So it's somewhere in that range. Now, just so we have a clue as to statistics, right? Is this a statistically significant number? That is it different from 0 statistically? And the p-value here is 0.003. So as long as this number is less than 0.005, then this number is statistically significant. That is, you can say that this number definitely statistically is not 0. So that's quickly how you can calculate the beta for a company's stock.